Alex Carter had been scavenging the old outpost for hours. The place was quiet. Too quiet. And dust hung thick in the air. Broken panels, rusted machinery, and the faint hum of old power lines were all that filled the empty halls. He wiped sweat from his forehead and squinted at the small pile of parts he had collected. Not much, but enough to trade for some food later. He turned a corner and froze. There, in the shadows, something small moved. At first, he thought it was a rat. But then he saw the eyes bright and wide, almost glowing in the dim light. A child? But it was not human. Its skin had a pale blue hue, and its limbs were thin and fragile. It crouched on the floor, shivering, looking as if it had not eaten in days. Alex's first thought was to step back. He had survived alone for a long time, and he knew that danger often hid in places like this. But something about the child's eyes stopped him. They were not aggressive or threatening. They were pleading, hungry, helpless. He knelt slowly, keeping his hands visible. "Hey there," he said softly. "You okay?" The child didn't answer. Its lips, small and almost invisible, quivered, but no sound came out. Alex reached into his bag and pulled out a small container of soup he had saved for himself. He set it down carefully in front of the child. At first, the child didn't move. Then, slowly, it leaned forward and took the soup, its hands shaking. Alex watched, fascinated. The child ate quickly, desperately, as if every drop mattered. When it finished, it looked at him with those wide eyes, blinking slowly, almost like it wanted to thank him, but could not. Alex felt a strange warmth in his chest. "There," he said. "Better?" The child nodded once. Alex laughed softly. "Okay, I'll take that as a yes." He stayed a little longer, talking quietly, trying to make the child feel safe. But in the back of his mind, he felt it something watching them. A faint shadow moving beyond the hall, just at the edge of his vision. He turned his head sharply. Nothing. Only the silence of the abandoned outpost. Alex shook his head. He had been alone here long enough to know that shadows were not always real. Maybe he was just tired. He looked back at the child. It was staring at him again, eyes wide and curious. Alex noticed something strange. Despite its weakness, the child's gaze seemed intelligent, almost like it understood more than it should. He felt a mixture of awe and caution. "Where's your family?" he asked softly. The child tilted its head, looking confused. Alex sighed. He guessed there was none. Not in this place. Not in this galaxy where humans had spread and other species lived in their shadows. "All right," he said. "You can stay for now. But you have to keep hidden. Out here. It's not safe." He glanced around, remembering the faint shadow from before. There's danger everywhere. The child crawled closer, and Alex noticed its thin arms and fragile legs. He had seen humans starve, but this was different. This little being was not just weak. It looked like it was fighting for every breath. He felt a sense of responsibility he had not expected. "I'll make sure you don't go hungry," he said. It was strange to talk like that, but he meant it. He had never taken care of anyone besides himself. And yet, looking at the child, he knew he could not leave it alone. Alex decided to sit nearby while the child rested. He took out a small blanket he carried in his bag and spread it on the floor. The child curled up on it, eyes half closed, and Alex felt a flicker of relief. It was safe, for now. Hours passed, and the light in the outpost dimmed as the artificial systems faltered. Alex kept a quiet watch, listening to every sound. Every creak of metal made him tense. The child stirred occasionally, but did not cry. Alex realized how silent it was compared to a human child. No sobs, no cries, just soft movements and occasional glances toward him. Finally, the child spoke a single word, soft and broken. Food. Alex smiled. I know. You'll get more soon. Don't worry. Then, in the distance, a noise startled him. A soft, sliding sound, like something moving without touching the floor. He froze and scanned the darkness. Something was coming. Something big. The child looked up at him, eyes wide. Alex's stomach tightened. He could feel it, whatever it was. It was not human. It moved with silence and precision, the kind of predator that hunters feared. Alex's mind raced. He had no weapon, except a small blaster he barely used, and the outpost offered no escape. He had to think fast. The creature appeared at the far end of the hall. At first, he could not see it clearly. Then he noticed its shape tall, slender, and terrifyingly still. Its head tilted toward them, and Alex felt its gaze like a weight pressing on his chest. The child moved slightly forward, almost as if shielding him. Alex noticed it instinctively crouched between him and the predator. That small gesture shocked him. The child had bravery, or perhaps understanding, that went beyond its age. Alex whispered to the child, "Stay close. Don't make a sound." He edged backward slowly, trying to think of a way out. But every move he made, the predator matched. Silent, patient, watching. Hours seemed to pass in silence, and Alex could feel his pulse pounding in his ears. The predator did not attack. It only watched, as if waiting for something. Alex realized it was not just a mindless killer. It was deliberate, calculating, and deadly. Finally, the creature retreated, disappearing into the shadows. Alex exhaled, feeling both relief and fear. He looked at the child, who remained still, eyes alert and focused. He realized then that he had not only saved a life by giving the child soup, but he had also put himself in the path of something dangerous. Alex crouched down next to the child. "We have to be careful," he said softly. "They are watching, and they won't give up easily." The child nodded slowly, as if understanding. Alex felt a bond forming, fragile but real, a connection that went beyond species, beyond fear, beyond survival. For the first time in a long while, Alex did not feel completely alone. But in the darkness beyond the hall, a pair of cold eyes watched. And Alex did not know that the predator had returned not yet to attack, but to study, to wait, and soon it would make its move. Alex had barely slept. He kept one eye open as he watched the small alien child, Luma, curled on the blanket. The little one seemed peaceful now, but Alex could still feel the weight of the predator's gaze in the shadows. He didn't know how long it had been out there, only that it hadn't left the area. He quietly got up and checked the perimeter of the old outpost. Broken doors, shattered windows, and rusted machinery offered little protection. The place had been abandoned for decades, and it showed. If the predator decided to strike, Alex knew he would have little time to react. Luma stirred and opened her glowing blue eyes. She looked at him, and Alex gave a small smile. "Morning," he said softly. "We need to find a safer spot soon." She blinked slowly, then moved closer, almost as if trying to give him courage. Alex felt a strange warmth. He had never felt responsible for anyone like this before. It was new, but it felt right. He packed his small bag, making sure the little blanket and a few food rations were ready. He picked up the tiny child gently. "Let's move," he whispered. "We can't stay here. We can't stay here." As he moved through the hallways, he noticed signs that someone or something had been there before. Footprints that were not human. Marks on the walls that looked like long scratches. His heart beat faster. The predator had been inside, watching them closely. Suddenly, a soft sound made him stop. It was coming from the corner of a wide hallway. Alex froze and held his breath. From the shadows, a figure emerged. Taller than any human, with long, lean limbs and a head that tilted unnaturally. Its skin shimmered faintly, like metal in the dim light. It was silent, deadly silent. Alex's stomach tightened. The predator was here, not attacking yet, just watching. And behind it, he realized, moved Luma. The child had led it straight to him. "Stay behind me," Alex whispered. The predator tilted its head, examining him. Alex noticed that it did not have eyes like humans. Its gaze was sharper, more precise. He had heard stories of alien hunters like this, fast, intelligent, and trained to kill without sound. "Who are you?" Alex asked softly, knowing it could not understand words. "Why are you here?" The predator shifted slightly. Luma stepped forward, placing a small hand on Alex's arm. He looked at the child. She was trying to protect him. Somehow, this tiny being was brave enough to stand between him and the deadly creature. The predator made a low, vibrating sound. Not a growl, not a word. Something in the air shifted. Alex realized it was not attacking yet. It was testing him, deciding what to do. He took a slow step backward. "I don't want trouble," he said. "I just helped your child. That's all." The predator watched. Then, without warning, it lunged forward but not at him. It moved past him, circling, silent, as a shadow. Alex's heart raced. He did not know what it wanted, but he understood one thing clearly. It could kill him in an instant. He edged toward a small room with a reinforced door. "Come on," he whispered to Luma. She followed without hesitation. The predator paused at the doorway, its head tilting as it studied them. Then it moved back into the hallway, waiting. Inside the small room, Alex set Luma down gently. She sat cross-legged on the floor, eyes fixed on the door. Alex realized she was communicating something without words. A warning, a strategy, a bond. "All right," he said quietly. "We need a plan." He looked around. Broken pipes, metal crates, old storage units. Not much, but maybe enough to make a barrier. He quickly stacked crates near the entrance, creating a small barricade. Luma helped by pushing a few lighter ones into place. Alex felt a sense of teamwork forming. A human and an alien child against a predator from a species designed to kill without mercy. Hours passed in tense silence. The predator stayed outside, watching. Alex used the time to study it. Its movements were calculated, precise. It did not hurry, did not rush. Every small action was meant to test them, to find weakness. He realized then why it had returned. Luma had survived because of his kindness, but the predator, her mother, was not used to seeing mercy. It was learning, calculating, and waiting. Alex whispered to Luma, "Do you think she will attack?" She shook her head slowly. Her small hand reached for his. Alex felt a surge of hope. She was trying to tell him that maybe, just maybe, there was a chance for understanding. Night fell, and the lights in the outpost flickered. The predator moved silently through the shadows, always present, always watching. Alex kept a small fire going in an old container, enough to keep warm but not enough to draw attention. "Stay close," he said. "We'll get through this." Suddenly, the predator made a sound. A low vibration that shook the room slightly. Alex jumped. Luma grabbed his arm, her tiny fingers squeezing tightly. Alex realized the sound was a warning. Not a threat, not yet, but a signal. He took a deep breath. He had to stay calm. Panic would only make them weak. He thought about what he knew best. Humans survived by thinking, by using intelligence, by staying clever. He decided to wait until morning. Then, under the cover of dim light, he would try to move them to a safer place. Somewhere, the predator could not reach them easily. Somewhere he could protect Luma and maybe, somehow, show the mother that he meant no harm. The night was long. Every sound, every shadow, made him tense. But Luma stayed quiet, alert, and calm. Alex felt a growing connection. She trusted him, and he would not let her down. As dawn broke, a faint light revealed the predator outside. It had not moved, only waited. Alex realized it was watching Luma closely, studying her reactions. And then it struck him the mother was not just hunting. She was protecting. He whispered to Luma, "I think she only wants to protect you." Luma nodded, as if confirming it. Alex felt a new understanding forming. The predator was dangerous, yes, but it was not cruel. It was acting as a parent. Alex made his decision. "We will move," he said softly, "and we will show her that we mean no harm." He lifted Luma gently, careful not to scare her. She clung to him, trusting him completely. Alex felt a surge of courage. Humans had survived countless dangers in the galaxy. They had faced predators, wars, and deadly situations before. And he would survive this too, not by strength, but by cleverness, empathy, and courage. The predator watched as they left the room. It did not follow immediately. It only waited. Alex knew the moment had come to prove that humans could act with both bravery and compassion, even when facing a silent killer. Together, Alex and Luma stepped into the hallway, moving slowly, carefully. The predator stayed in the shadows, watching, silent and deadly. Alex knew the next moments would decide everything: life, death, trust, and perhaps a bond that could cross species. Alex moved slowly through the dim corridors of the old outpost, carrying Luma in his arms. Every step he took was careful, measured. He knew the predator her mother was watching. Silent, patient, waiting for a mistake. Luma stayed quiet, her small hand clutching his jacket. She seemed calm, but Alex could feel her tension. Her small body pressed against him, trying to communicate trust and courage without words. It was a strange bond, but it gave Alex determination. He had to protect her. He had to survive. He reached a small room with a few intact walls and a heavy metal door. "This will do for now," he whispered. He set Luma down gently. She looked around and nodded, her glowing eyes scanning every shadow. Alex began to think. He needed a plan. The mother was too strong and fast to fight directly. Any wrong move could be fatal, but humans survived not because of strength alone, but because of intelligence, creativity, and courage. He found some old crates and metal panels in the room. Carefully, he built a small barricade near the door. Not very high, but enough to slow a predator for a few seconds. That could be the difference between life and death. Luma helped by pushing smaller crates into place. She was small, but she worked quickly, almost like she knew exactly what was needed. Hours passed. The predator did not enter. It waited outside, silent and still. Alex realized it was studying them, learning their movements, and he understood something important. The mother would not attack unless she felt her child was threatened. Alex knelt beside Luma. "I think she only wants to protect you," he whispered. She nodded. Her small hand touched his cheek for a moment, as if asking him to promise that he would not hurt her or her mother. Alex gave a small smile. "I promise." He decided to try communication. Humans had a way of connecting with other species through gestures, sounds, and trust. He picked up a small piece of metal from the floor and tapped it gently. The sound was soft, rhythmic. Luma watched, tilting her head. He made another tapping pattern, slower this time, like a heartbeat. Luma repeated it, tapping lightly on the floor. Alex smiled. It was not much, but it was a start. They were finding a way to communicate without words. The predator outside shifted slightly, tilting its head. Alex felt its gaze like a weight on his chest. He realized it was listening too, learning their pattern. Its child had survived because of him. But now, the mother was testing whether he was trustworthy. Alex decided to move cautiously. He took a few steps toward the door, placing his hands in view, showing no weapon. Luma followed. The mother remained still, just watching. "See?" Alex whispered. "We're not a threat." Luma tapped the rhythm again, slowly. The predator's head tilted slightly. Alex could almost feel it, thinking, deciding. He realized that the predator understood loyalty and protection, just like humans did. It was not cruel by nature. It was protective. And humans had a similar instinct. That gave him hope. Alex thought about what he had learned in his life. Survival was not just about fighting. It was about understanding the enemy, predicting moves, and using the mind. He had survived countless dangers this way. And now, his empathy and intelligence were being tested against a being designed to kill. He moved closer to a corner and tapped another pattern on the metal floor. Luma followed, mimicking him perfectly. Alex felt a thrill. They were creating a connection, a bridge of trust between human and alien. The mother shifted closer, slow and deliberate. Alex's heart pounded. He knew that if he made a wrong move, it could all end. He stayed calm, steady, showing no fear. Humans survived by staying calm in impossible situations. He could do this. Hours passed. The predator watched, but did not attack. Alex realized it was giving them a chance. A chance to show that humans could act with intelligence and care, not just strength. He felt a growing respect for the creature. It was a mother, protecting its child. And in a strange way, it was teaching him patience. He whispered to Luma, "We need to be careful, but brave. We can do this." She nodded, tapping the floor once. Her trust in him was complete. Alex felt a surge of determination. He would not fail her. He would survive and protect her. Suddenly, a sound echoed from the hallway. A small scrape, barely noticeable. Alex froze. The predator's head turned, and he realized it had also heard it. The tension in the room increased. Alex moved slowly to the corner, holding Luma close. He whispered, "Stay quiet." She pressed herself against him, trembling slightly, but still silent. The predator shifted again, moving closer to the door, testing their reactions. Alex understood that it was not only protecting Luma, but also assessing him. Could he be trusted? Could he survive? Could he protect the child without aggression? Alex decided to show intelligence instead of fear. He took a small piece of scrap metal and tapped a slow, deliberate rhythm on the barricade. Luma mirrored him, perfectly synchronized. The mother paused. Its head tilted. Alex felt a spark of hope. They were communicating. Slowly, carefully. They were building trust. Time passed. The predator stayed outside but did not advance. Alex realized that the connection they were forming mattered. The child was safe because he had acted with kindness. The mother was silent but observing, weighing every action. Alex leaned close to Luma. "We have a chance," he whispered. "A real chance." She pressed her small hand against his cheek again. Alex felt a deep sense of purpose. He had never been responsible for anyone like this before, but he would not fail. The morning sun started to filter through cracks in the walls, casting faint light across the floor. Alex watched the mother's shadow outside. It had not moved. It waited. Patient. Calculating. And Alex understood that humans and aliens shared something essential. Care for the young. Protection. Patience. And intelligence. He decided that when the predator left, they would move carefully. They would show it that humans could survive and act with respect and compassion. It was not just survival, it was an opportunity to prove that humanity's strength was more than physical. It was intelligence, empathy, and courage. Alex looked at Luma. "Are you ready?" he asked. She nodded. Her small body pressed against his, full of trust. Alex felt hope and courage together. He had survived many dangers. But this was different. It was not only life and death, it was understanding, trust, and the possibility of friendship between species. They waited for the perfect moment. The predator remained outside, silent and deadly. But Alex knew that humans had faced impossible odds before. They had survived and protected those who could not protect themselves. And now, he would do the same. Alex whispered, "Let's move when the time is right. We can do this." Luma pressed her hand against his once more, and he felt a surge of determination. They would survive. Together. And slowly, carefully, they prepared to take the next step in a galaxy that was dangerous, unforgiving, and full of mysteries. But Alex had learned one thing. Human courage, empathy, and intelligence could create hope even in the darkest places. Alex waited until the faint light of day filled the corridors before moving. He carried Luma carefully, keeping her close. She seemed calm, almost trusting him completely now. The predator mother remained outside, watching. Its presence was heavy, quiet, and full of tension. Alex stepped slowly, testing each floorboard and checking every shadow. Luma clung to him, her small body trembling slightly, but she did not cry. He could feel her awareness, her alertness. She knew the mother was near, and she seemed to understand that Alex was trying to protect her. They reached a wider hallway with broken machinery stacked along the walls. Alex saw a chance to move, without being trapped. He crouched behind a pile of crates and whispered, "Stay low. Follow my lead." Luma nodded, mirroring his careful movements. The mother stayed just beyond the hallway, her head tilted, studying their steps. Alex realized that she was testing them, learning their behavior. Every human instinct he had was on alert, but he felt a strange respect for the creature. It was intelligent, precise, and completely devoted to her child. Alex reached a junction in the outpost. Two hallways stretched ahead, one dark and narrow, the other partially open with sunlight streaming in through broken panels. He knew the sunlight hallway would give them visibility but also exposure. The narrow hallway offered cover but was slower and could trap them if the mother attacked. He whispered to Luma, "We'll take the narrow path. It's safer." She nodded and pressed close to him. Alex moved forward slowly, listening for any sound of movement. The silence was tense, heavy, like the air itself was waiting. Suddenly, the mother appeared at the end of the hallway. She did not move aggressively but tilted her head as if studying them. Alex froze. He knew any sudden motion could trigger an attack. He whispered, "Stay calm. Show her we are not a threat." Then he did something risky. He dropped a small piece of scrap metal on the floor and tapped it lightly in a slow, deliberate rhythm. Luma repeated it perfectly, and Alex noticed the mother's head tilt again. The sound did not scare her. It was curiosity. She stepped back slightly, watching. Alex realized then that she understood patterns, intention, and care. This was not just instinct, it was intelligence. And maybe it could be reasoned with. He continued, tapping another pattern on the floor, and then gestured slowly toward Luma. The child mirrored him, tapping gently. The mother shifted her position, her body language relaxing slightly. Alex felt a surge of hope. "See?" he whispered. "We can communicate." Luma pressed her hand against his arm, as if agreeing. Alex realized that the mother was testing whether humans could understand, whether they could act with care and respect. He decided to try a small, cautious step forward. "We only want peace," he said softly. Luma repeated the tapping pattern, reinforcing the message. The mother watched, her movements slow and deliberate. Alex felt a strange connection forming. The predator was not an enemy in the usual sense. She was a parent, protecting her child, and she could recognize intention. Alex had learned that humans were not only strong physically, but also intelligent and empathetic. That was their real power. They moved slowly through the hallway, the mother following at a distance, silent but attentive. Alex realized this was a test of trust. Every step mattered. Every gesture could change the outcome. As they reached a partially open room, sunlight streamed in, showing broken furniture and rusted equipment. Alex paused and looked at Luma. "We can rest here for a moment," he whispered. She nodded, and he set her down gently. He observed the mother's behavior. She stayed at the edge of the room, watching Luma closely. Alex knew she could attack in an instant, but she did not. It was as if she was measuring him, seeing if he truly cared for her child. Alex knelt beside Luma. "We need to show her we are trustworthy," he said softly. "We won't hurt you. We won't hurt her." The child looked at him with glowing blue eyes and pressed her small hand to his cheek. Alex felt a deep sense of responsibility. He would not fail them. He picked up a small piece of metal and began tapping a slow rhythm again. Luma joined in, and Alex noticed the mother's head tilt slightly. Then, she did something unexpected. She tapped lightly on the floor. A soft, deliberate pattern. Alex froze, amazed. The mother was communicating. Not with words, not with aggression, but with rhythm and attention. Alex realized that this was their first true exchange. The predator was testing them, yes, but she was also opening a channel of understanding. Alex tapped back, carefully mimicking her rhythm. Luma followed. Slowly, a simple dialogue formed between human, child, and alien. Alex could feel the tension easing, replaced by a cautious curiosity. For the first time, he saw the mother relax slightly, lowering her stance. No longer a silent threat, but a guardian observing their actions. Alex understood then that trust was possible, even across species. It would not be easy, but it was real. Hours passed in this careful dance of observation and response. Alex continued to show calm, deliberate actions. Luma mirrored him perfectly, and the mother responded with subtle shifts. It was exhausting, tense, but also hopeful. By evening, Alex decided it was time to move again. They had to find a safer place, somewhere the mother could not corner them, and where they could continue building trust. He picked up Luma and whispered, "We're going to move slowly. Stay close to me." She pressed against him. Ready. The mother watched, silent but alert. Alex led them through the corridors, careful to keep gestures calm and predictable. He tapped small rhythms on the walls and floor, signaling they meant no harm. The mother responded with similar patterns, following at a distance. They reached a room with a heavy metal door and reinforced walls. Alex knew it would be a safer place for the night. He set Luma down and quickly barricaded the door with old crates and panels. The mother stopped outside, watching, but did not force entry. Alex whispered to Luma, "We did well today. She is learning we are not a threat." Luma pressed her small hand to his cheek again. Alex felt a mix of relief and pride. They had survived a full day, communicated, and built the first steps of trust with a predator more deadly than any human enemy. That night, Alex kept watch, listening to the faint sounds of the mother outside. She was near, but she did not attack. Instead, She stayed alert, observing. Alex realized that humans had survived countless dangers because of moments like this: patience, intelligence, and empathy. He whispered to Luma, "Tomorrow, we will try again. We will show her we can be trusted. And maybe, we can all survive together." The child nodded, glowing eyes reflecting trust and hope. For the first time, Alex felt something he had not in years: that even in the darkest, most dangerous corners of space, understanding and compassion could create a bridge. And outside, the mother watched, silent and patient, slowly beginning to understand that humans could be more than prey or threat. They could be allies, protectors, and worthy of trust. Alex woke before dawn, careful not to wake Luma. The small alien child slept peacefully on the blanket, her glowing eyes closed, her breathing slow. Outside, he could hear the faint shifting of the predator mother. She had stayed near the barricade all night, silent, watching, patient. Alex felt a strange respect for her. She was fierce, intelligent, and loyal. He whispered softly to Luma, "We have to be ready today. We may have a chance to move farther, to be safe." She stirred. "We," end quote, blinking slowly, and pressed her hand against his cheek. Alex felt a surge of determination. He had never been responsible for anyone like this before, but he would not fail them now. He checked the barricade. The mother had not tried to force entry. Alex realized she had given them time. She had tested them, observed their behavior, and now she was allowing them a chance. Alex knew it was risky, but it was their only way forward. He picked up Luma gently and whispered, "We'll go slowly. Stay close." She pressed against him, ready. He took a few careful steps toward the hallway, listening for any sound from outside. The mother remained in place, her head tilted, studying them. Suddenly, a new noise echoed through the outpost. A group of small predators, part of the same species, emerged from a side corridor. They were faster and more aggressive, looking for prey. Alex's heart pounded. He realized the mother had not attacked them before, because she was the only one protecting her child. Now, others had arrived. Alex froze for a moment. Luma clutched his jacket. He knew he had to act quickly. "Stay close," he whispered. He looked at the mother. Her stance changed. She was preparing to defend her child, and perhaps them as well. Alex knew he could not fight them directly. He had to use intelligence. He grabbed some old panels and pipes from the floor, setting small traps and obstacles in the hallway. He knocked over crates to create barriers, forcing the predators to slow down and hesitate. The mother let out a low vibration sound, almost a warning. The other predators hesitated, unsure. Alex realized she was communicating with them, commanding them without aggression. He had never seen such coordination. Humans were clever, but this was instinct and loyalty combined in a way he respected deeply. He whispered to Luma, "Stay quiet. Watch her. We can do this." The child pressed herself against him but did not cry. She understood. Together, they had to survive. The small predators advanced. Alex used the barricades to guide them into tight spaces. He tapped on metal panels, creating loud noises to startle them, forcing them into confusion. The mother moved with precision, her actions perfectly coordinated with his. Alex realized they were working together, human and alien, to survive. Time stretched, each second filled with tension. Alex could feel his pulse in his ears. He moved carefully, using obstacles, sound, and careful gestures to protect himself and Luma. The mother attacked only when necessary, striking quickly and retreating, ensuring no one could get past her child's safety. Hours passed. Slowly, the predators began to retreat. Alex had used every trick he knew, but it was the mother's skill and protection that had kept them alive. He realized that without her, they would have been lost in minutes. When the last predator left, the mother turned toward them. Alex lowered himself to show calm and non-aggression. Luma tapped the familiar rhythm on the floor. The mother paused, then mirrored the pattern. Alex smiled slightly. They had survived together. Not through violence alone, but through patience, understanding, and coordination. He knelt beside Luma. "We did it," he whispered. "We survived." She pressed her hand to his cheek, glowing softly. Alex felt a warmth in his chest, a pride he had never known. They had faced a deadly predator and others like it, and survived without needless violence. The mother approached slowly. Alex stayed calm. She did not attack. Instead, she extended a small, delicate gesture, a touch of her hand on the floor, a signal of trust. Alex understood immediately. She was acknowledging him, recognizing that humans could act with care and intelligence. He tapped back, slowly, carefully. Luma mirrored both of them. A simple conversation, a connection beyond words, was forming. Alex felt the full weight of the moment. They had bridged a gap between species through empathy and courage. Alex realized something about humanity. Humans had survived countless dangers in the galaxy, not because they were the strongest, but because they were clever, compassionate, and able to connect with others. That was the real strength. And now, he had proven it, even to a predator who could have killed them at any moment. He looked at the mother. "We only want to protect Luma. We mean no harm," he said softly. The mother's head tilted, then lowered slightly. Alex understood the gesture. Trust was forming. The predator's body relaxed just a little. She had learned that humans could be allies, protectors, and worthy of trust. Alex smiled faintly. "We'll be careful," he whispered. Luma pressed her hand to his cheek, glowing brighter. Alex knew it was time to move. They had survived the night, faced danger, and built a connection that could not be broken easily. He picked up Luma again and stepped carefully toward the exit. The mother followed, maintaining distance but staying close. Outside, the first rays of sunlight fell across the ruined outpost. Alex felt a sense of hope he had not felt in years. The galaxy was dangerous, unpredictable, and full of predators. But in this moment, he realized that compassion, intelligence, and courage could create a path forward. Humans could survive and even build trust where none seemed possible. He looked down at Luma. "We are going to be okay," he whispered. She pressed her hand against his cheek again, as if agreeing. Alex felt a deep sense of purpose. He had protected someone weaker, earned trust, and survived against impossible odds. The mother watched them silently, patient and alert. But no longer a threat. She had accepted their presence, recognized their intention, and protected her child without unnecessary violence. Alex realized that they had formed a fragile, powerful bond. He moved forward, carefully leading them to a safer part of the outpost. Each step was cautious, but steady. He knew the mother was watching, learning, and maybe, slowly trusting him as well. As they reached a more open space with sunlight and broken walls, Alex stopped and set Luma down gently. She looked at him with glowing eyes, full of trust and gratitude. The mother stayed nearby, silent but calm. Alex smiled. "We did it. We survived. Together." Luma pressed her small hand to his cheek one last time. Alex felt a surge of hope. They had faced deadly predators, impossible odds, and survived by using the greatest human strength: intelligence, empathy, and courage. The predator mother gave a low, soft vibration. Alex understood immediately. It was a gesture of acceptance. Trust had been earned. Respect had been given. And in this dangerous, dark corner of the galaxy, humans had proven that they could survive, protect, and connect even with the most dangerous beings. Alex looked at Luma and then at the mother. "We'll be careful," he whispered. "We will protect each other." And for the first time in a long while, Alex felt a full sense of hope. The galaxy was still dangerous, but humans could survive not just by fighting, but by thinking, caring, and reaching out, even to those who seemed impossible to reach. The sun rose higher, casting light over the outpost. Alex, Luma, and the Predator Mother stood together, silent but connected. The world was still full of danger, but for the first time, Alex realized that humanity's strength was more than physical. It was courage, empathy, and the ability to survive through understanding. And in that quiet moment, Alex knew they had all changed. They had faced fear, built trust, and proven that even across the galaxy, kindness and intelligence could make a difference.